Hello, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. So good to have you. It's 5 to 5, and at 5 o'clock, we are starting with our session. And I thought I should come in early so that I can say hello to you. If you're joining us, thank you very much for joining us every week. And thank you for the feedback that many of you have been sending on the comment line on YouTube. I really appreciate the feedback. I did hear your feedback that when I type whilst we are talking, it's actually distracting and disturbing. So I will not be typing today. I brought my book and I'll write because I like writing notes as I go on talking to the person that we're interviewing so that I don't forget some of the points. I like making sure that we take the important points and you can go away with real things that you can do. These sessions on Sunday are important to me. I would like to see them succeed, and seeing them succeed is seeing you succeed through them. So give me your feedback. Tell me what's working. Tell me what's not working. Also give me questions, or also tell me what else you'd like me to handle on these sessions, and I'll make sure that I get people who can help us with them, or I'll do them myself. So do not hesitate. Ask, and I'll make sure that me and my team bring to you what you need to make sure that you are successful. Remember that these sessions are about making sure that you build a life of success. And I'm here to hold your hand. I can't do it on one-on-one. If you want to one-on-one, that's okay. But that you have to register, apply for a mentorship program, and then you'll have one-on-one meetings with me. But here you get the benefit of getting these sessions for free here with everyone else. So send your questions in terms of you want sessions on this, and I'll find people who can help us with that, or I can help us with that. So thank you very much for joining me. I will not be typing. All of you on YouTube, you will not see my responses today. But your comments and everything, I respond to them. As you know, I respond to all the questions and all the points, suggestions that you put on YouTube. Okay, now, on Instagram, we've got 2 minutes. You can tell me where you're calling from, where you're joining us from, and I'll welcome you. I know we've got people joining us from Dublin, from Uganda, from Botswana, from Zambia, from Zimbabwe. We have everyone, the continent joins us, as well as the world, as we navigate the challenges of our life. I see Robert Mashilo is from Stellenbosch University, always camping through these sessions. Thank you so much, Robert, for joining me from Stellies. And I can see Puselezo is from Northwest University in Mafikeng. Thank you for joining me. Nicolette, my favorite human being. I really, really love this woman. And I can see that Nicolette Matuku is joining me on Instagram. Thanks, Nicolette. I can see Nyaleti from Guyana. Thank you very much. Someone representing people from PLK, Polokwane. Polokwanians, all of you are welcome. Students from University of Johannesburg, you are welcome. It's always a pleasure to have you. I can see students from University of Venda. You are welcome. Everyone from Wits University, join me. Don't be scared. From Stellenbosch, you're welcome. Everyone joining me, welcome. I'm waiting for people to come into the room. Call them. Call your friends, especially those who keep asking you for money. Call them and ask them to be here so that they don't have to ask you for money. Tembi Matenja from MLN in Mpumalanga, welcome. University of Pretoria is in the house. Tux in the house. Nico, thank you so much for joining me. Sinokolo is joining me, and I can see Mujalifa is also joining me on YouTube. University of Limpopo is in the house. Isn't it funny that University of Limpopo says, I do not qualify to be Vice Chancellor? You know, I always think it would be fascinating for a young person, a smart young person, to take this curriculum vitae, CV of the current University of Limpopo Vice Chancellor and take mine, put them together, just compare them, just for fun, you know, and say who qualifies, who doesn't qualify, okay? I don't need the job from University of Limpopo anymore, but I think it will be a very good exercise. Young people of our country, do this exercise. Do not believe what they tell you. Okay, so it's weird that they tell you that I don't qualify. Just compare the CVs and put it out there and critique it. Do you know what I mean? I can see Priscilla from Karankua TUT. Thank you for joining us. Karankua TUT, of course, it's in my home township. I grew up in Karankua, and TUT in Karankua was built whilst I was a teenager in Karankua. Wonderful campus. Thank you so much for joining us, all of you. Let's see, how many people do we have? I think we can start. Someone asked me during this week, Prof, why do you do these sessions? And why talk about money? You are educated. What's your problem? And I said, here's the thing. I get so many people asking me for money, and some of them ask for as little as 150 rand to catch a taxi to go to an interview. And it boggles my mind. And I keep thinking, I go to their profiles, I'm like, these people don't even have to be asking me. They can make this money very easily. If I were to need 160 rand, I would quickly sell my sunglasses, so shoes, and then have the 160 rand to go on to an interview. But of course, I know some people need a little more than that. Maybe you need 3,000 rands a month. Maybe you need 4,000 rand. Maybe you need 5,000 rands a month. And I thought, rather than keep asking people on social media for money, you can make the money yourself. And making the money yourself can be very simple. And of course, when I was vice chancellor and I was working formally as an academic, I always thought, go to university, study, spend, and that works, right? Especially if you manage to get a job after the degree. But many people don't get the job after the degree. We know that. We know that many people get the qualifications and they don't get the job, right? And many young people sit at home whilst looking for a job. We also know that unemployment is huge. I mean, some people had a job, they lose it because the company closes or whatever happens, and then there's layoffs because the company doesn't have enough money to pay all of them. Then what do? Do you ask your people to give you money for groceries? Now, these sessions are to make sure that you have your independence. Because here's the thing, whoever buys your groceries often tries to control you as well. So you want to be doing that yourself, right? And you can make more money than just enough to buy your groceries. So this is about your independence. This is about your autonomy. This is yours truly, the deputy mother, wanting you to own yourself. So I welcome all of you, Bantu from East London, everyone who's joining us today. If you're joining us for the first time, we are here every Sunday just for 1 hour, edifying ourselves, growing, learning to do new things, learning to do things better. I can see someone is joining us from Kerala. I love Kerala in India. That's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I've been on holiday in Kerala and it's amazing. It's all welcome. And I see other people joining us from University of Venda, from Stellies, and my bestie from Botswana, Baisaho University. Thank you very much for joining me. And all my beloveds in Botswana, in Zambia, in Mozambique, and in Dublin. Thank you for joining me. Right. Now, today, we're talking about making money online, which means all you need is a computer or a laptop and internet access, and then you make money. That's all you need, right? And today, I want to talk to Mimi. I'm talking to Mimi. Mimi is a student. Someone also reached out to me on X saying that they are also making money online. They explain what it is, Makanda. And I said to Makanda, he must join me. He must join the session on Instagram, and I will call him in at some stage and we can talk to him as well. The idea is to learn. The idea is to grow. As I'm talking like this, I'm going to ask Mimi to join me on Instagram, and I'll call her up, and then we talk. I'm going to ask Mimi to click plus so that I can see her there. Makanda, if you are in the room, also just press plus And when at the right time, I will call you in. I'm just going to start speaking with Mimi. Now, Mimi is a student. Okay, Mimi is a student, a young student, and we know there are so many students who need money. They're struggling with food security. They don't have money for food. They just had a scholarship, and it's just paying for their rest and for their fees, and they're struggling. Students, this is one example that you can follow. It's not everything, but I'm going to ask you to listen carefully, and I'll call Makanda at some stage. I think Makanda is also a student, but he'll explain to us when he joins us. Mimi, thank you so much for making the time and for your willingness to talk to me today.
You're welcome.
Fantastic. Of course, those who know you will know that Mimi is my daughter. Of course, she's my baby girl, and it was her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday again, Mims.
Thank you, ma.
Okay, because I'm sure there are people on Instagram who saw me with the treat, your birthday treat yesterday. Now, Mimi, you are a university student. You are also doing tutoring at university. I don't want us to talk about that, but I wanted to put on record that you are a student, and so many people who are here are students. So you do have a lot of work to do. But then you managed to find this other way of making money. How did you find out about this other way of making money? Mimi teaches English as a foreign language online. She teaches it online. By the way, we as South Africa are regarded as a first language native English speaking country, which gives us an advantage. By the way, if you go to Dubai, I was in Dubai, I was surprised when I heard that South Africans are given priority when it comes to jobs because we are a native English speaking country. So here we are. There's an opportunity to teach English as a foreign language online. How did you find out about this, Mims?
Okay, so first of all, I just want to thank everyone who is wishing me a birthday. Thank you very much. So I was going through I was taking a break, and then I went on TikTok, and then I just bumped into this other video where someone was talking about teaching English online. I was like, okay, that's interesting. So at first I just ignored it, and then time went by. I saw another video again. I was like, okay, let me look into this thing, and then I realized that actually it's not as deep, or it's not as hectic as other things that I've been doing. I could just get a certificate and then see what I have. So I have this tendency of wanting to hoard certificates in case anything happens. So I went online. I also did a research on different platforms where people can register. And then I found, through reviews, I found out that the TFL Academy is one of the well-renowned platforms that people can acquire their certification through. So I started, I registered, it was on sale, like you have to pay a certain amount to be part of that platform. So I registered, it was on sale, and I'm sure even if you check today, the TFL Academy is still on sale. It was on sale. I registered, and then, at first, it was not as hectic because it was like introductory. So it was, I just did that probably in 2 weeks. I finished the first part, which is from, because there are 10 units, and you have to complete all 10 units for you to be considered a TFL Academy alumni. So I did the first part. It was quick and easy. And then as you progress, or I progressed, I realized that there was actually a lot I needed to put into. So in as much as it's easy, but there is a lot that you need to put into it, which is time. So it took me about 3 months or 4 months, and that's because I also have a lot of projects that I do, and I'm sure if it was just one thing that I was doing, then it would have been easier. So I completed it, and then I was like, this is actually interesting. And then I went back on TikTok, and then I realized that actually there are companies that are advertising, like there's Preply, there are different types of Cambly, there's Native, Camp Native. There are different. I mean, you can just Google. There are different companies, and then through reviews again, I realized that Preply was one of the most legit and trusted platforms that
Let me pause you a bit. Preply is a platform, or is it a place where you learn to teach English as a foreign language?
No. So Preply is a platform where you, as a tutor,
register
meet with the.
Okay.
So
before we go there, I want us to focus, because before you become a tutor, you have to qualify, right? So first of all, you have to qualify to be a tutor. That's number one. And to qualify to be a tutor, you need to register with a particular college and with the TFL Academy. Is it the only academy that teaches English, trains tutors for English as a foreign language teaching, or is there a variety?
There's a variety. There's a lot, but the thing that you also need to look at is because they are rated just like any other institution.
Okay.
They are rated, so you also have to look at that, because that will determine if you're going to be accepted. In many instances, it will determine if you're going to be accepted quickly. So you have to look at the institution itself, like how is it rated, and that's how I ended up with the TFL Academy. There were a lot, and some of them are actually cheaper than the TFL Academy. But you have to look at those things, like, is it well recognized? Is it well renowned? Like, what are the reviews around it? So that's why I ended up with TFL Academy.
So there you are. So this is the world, and so it's also possible that you can end up in an unreputable place that teaches you to do that. So Mimi went to a TFL Academy. I can see someone else also recommending TFL Academy. Check it out for yourself. The idea is, the first thing you do is you qualify to teach English as a foreign language. Is it hugely expensive, Mims, or you could pay for it yourself as a student?
I could pay it for myself. It's not as expensive. So, like, many times when you register, you find that it's on sale. So it's not always like the price is actually a bit high, but they always they always put their prices on sale.
So it is affordable. Don't just sit and say, I can't register because I don't have money. You can use your pocket money, your monthly pocket money, to register with the TFL Academy. Someone has written, Lebogang says she registered for 349 rand. But as Mimi says, it's because it's always on sale. So it was probably on special, and so it's always accessible. And then you said you took 3 months, Mimi. Is the course scheduled for 3 months, or you just took 3 months because you squashed everything to fit in 3 months?
Actually, it took me 3 months because I also had a lot of things that I was doing on the side, like my main project. So for some people, it can actually take 2 months or less, depending on what's happening in their lives. So it's entirely up to you.
Okay, so the course can take as short as 1 month. So if you are sitting there unemployed, you have 500 rand, you can register with the TFL Academy, Teaching English as a Foreign Language Academy. You can check it on Facebook. People say it's on Facebook. You register. It's not a lot of money. Some people don't even try because they want freebies. Just invest your 500 rand, and then, as Mimi says, if you're not too busy, it can take you anything from a month up to whatever long you want. So you take the amount of time that you need. The course is an online course, and there are assignments. Are they online sessions, teaching sessions, Mims?
Yeah, there are assignments. So everything is just on the platform. So you just you just have to complete them. Like when you complete, you move to the other. Like the system pushes you to another
level.
So, and yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so there it is, and I know that means there are people that you've been helping also to go through the course, because some people are just not disciplined. They want a teacher who will help them through the course, and that's one of the things that you are doing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so after I finished everything, I realized that actually I could help other people doing this, because I know someone who also had a problem, because not everyone can get the certificate on the go. Other people struggle, because truth be told, the things that you learn when you want to become a teacher are not things that we've been taught in primary or high school, because we don't really need to know the origins of the language and everything that's around. So what I did, I then thought to myself, like, I can actually help other people who want to get a certificate in this thing. So I've been helping quite a number of people in acquiring these things. So first of all, we talk, like we can have one-on-one. I usually have one-on-one sessions with people where I tell them what the TFL is about. Unlike me, I didn't have anyone to ask. So what happens and how do I go about it? I had to figure it out as I was going. So with others that I've been teaching or orienting to the course, I teach them like what the course is about. I also teach them like we practice TF4 style grammar questions, like just like to know what kind of tests you'll be answering. Mm-hmm. We also look at the I just have things that I'm looking at the moment. So we also look at how the online theoretical modules are structured. Mm-hmm. We also look at the assessment, the structure of the exam. So I give you, like, I create questions, mock exam questions, and then I give you, and then you respond, and then I can tell you if you're able to move on to the next stage.
Fantastic. I see Mosi on YouTube is asking, are there any free courses? Mosi, you don't want scammers. Just pay the little money that they are telling you, 349 rand, 350 rand. Let's just say you budget 500 rand for this course. Mosi, it's worth your while. It's about time that you take yourself so seriously that you don't always ask for freebies. Okay, because that's how people. My mother used to say, so just invest your 500 rand. Take the course. At most, tell yourself in 1 month, I will have been done with this course. If you need support, you can DM Mimi. Mimi can hold your hand, and then you are done. And then, Mimi, you are done. You have a certificate. Now you register. And someone said there are many platforms, and you were saying Preply. I saw 2 other people recommending Preply as a platform, and it's important to get a legit platform also, because I guess there are also scammers out there. Tell us about this platform, because you were starting at that time earlier.
Okay, so after I finished everything, like with my certification, and then I started looking also for platforms that are legit, and that actually took me time, because there are a lot of them, and I ended up landing on Preply. And the reason why I ended up with Preply is because of their scrutiny when they are admitting teachers. Like, they require a lot of things for security purposes, just like Uber and Bolt, that kind of thing. So with Preply, it's stricter. It's quite strict. They ask you for different things, like your ID. They ask you for like your instant picture. Like, there are a lot of things. And for me, in as much as it was a lot, I just felt like it's easier, it's better for me to go with Preply, because of these security features that make me feel comfortable putting up my certificates online. And also, there's another thing that I think I've seen a comment whereby someone was saying you can do without a certificate. Yes, you can, but there's also a problem with that. There aren't many, because now people are applying a lot to teach English online. It's quite difficult to be accepted by reputable companies because they need you to have a certificate. And in some of these institutions, they actually require a degree.
I mean, Royston here on Instagram is trying to be fresh with us. She keeps saying not preply. Preply, it's Preply. So, there's nothing wrong in what we are saying, Preply. Preply is just one of the platforms. And what Mimi's saying is that you go with a platform that can be trusted. Okay? So the platform that verifies your qualifications, that you can upload your certificate, it's all okay, because you don't want to be dealing with a scamish kind of platform. So Preply, Preply, Royston Kemp. Stop trying to be fresh with us, okay? So Preply, that's what is Preply. That's the platform you register with where people can reach you, okay? That's what we are trying to say here. Royston, we are Black people. Don't come and teach us pronunciation here, okay? So Mimi, I saw also someone who I follow on TikTok who Google talking about the fact that when you register, you also have to put up your video. You sort of have to market yourself. So you don't only put your TFL qualifications, you put your other qualifications as well. So people can see they're dealing with someone who's passed something, right?
That is right.
So you actually have to put your foot out there, because there are many other people who have the TFL certificate. They have a TFL certificate. So you are marketing yourself. How quick does it happen, Mimi, that after putting your credentials out there, that people come on board and now start wanting to be taught by you? Because I guess on the platform, there's a lot of people who are there who advertise stuff, and then they are waiting for people to register with them, right? Is that how it works?
That is correct. So before I answer, I just want to answer Yoni. I did with the TFL Academy. Okay. So what happens, like when you send everything, your documentation, your certificates, and your degrees, what happens is that you wait for them to accept you, so they need to verify everything. So for me, it took about 4 weeks, and then they eventually accepted me on their platform. And depending on how you market yourself, like you say, with your video and how you present yourself, how your qualifications, then people can start booking you.
Okay.
And then once you get the first step, we have to remember to ask them to leave a review. That's how you grow.
Okay. So people leave a review for you as a teacher. They tell other people how good you are or not. And then other people then can register with you.
That's right.
Okay. By the way, whilst we are on here, guys, the reason why this is an easy place for you, a quick place for you to make money, is firstly because English for us in South Africa and many countries on this continent is not a foreign language, because we were colonized by the British, and so English is here around us. So that's the first thing, right? So to pass the TFL course to be a trainer won't be too much work, right? So that's why this is easier to get into. It's quicker to get a qualification, okay? And the other thing that makes it easier is the fact that you can do it at home as long as you have a laptop and internet. So it's a low-hanging fruit. Actually, if you are a teacher at home and you want to make extra cash and take your children to school, rather than sitting and asking other people for money, you just do this after school. When you come back from school, You just get onto your laptop, you do the teaching. How much, Mimi? If you are taking one person, is it for an hour each lesson?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. And how much does one lesson cost?
So what happens usually, also as a new person, you don't want to inflate your price because you won't end up getting booked. Because first of all, you do not have reviews. No one knows your abilities and capabilities. So you also want to put a price that attracts people as a new teacher. So as a start, it's something like $5 for a start on pre-apply. They spend $5, and then as you gain experience and also as you get more people, other people end up charging. Other teachers, they actually end up charging $30 per session. So I know of. So for me, I can't do like every day, but I know of people who actually ended up leaving their jobs to focus 24/7 on English online teaching, and they are making a lot of money. They have a lot of students, like each and every hour of the day they are sitting, they are working. So it actually depends on your availability. For me, I'm only available for a few hours at night, so I can only pick up students who are also available around that time. But for other people who actually start from 8 to 5, they are killing it.
Yeah, and to be honest, Mimi, I mean, you say you can start with $5, but it's actually a lot of money because it's $5 per lesson, per 45 lesson per student.
Yeah, that's like one lesson.
One lesson, $5. You price your lessons, right? They don't tell you. You decide.
So if you feel like, for whatever reason, if you feel like you are worth more, you can start at $10.
Okay.
So it just depends. So $5 is to attract students, and then maybe after a month or so, you take it to $7, and then after half a month, you take it to $10, $15, $20, $30.
Okay. Someone is asking here. Can I just also check whilst we are here, Makanda, who responded to my post on X, if you are in the room, please ask to be included and then I'll call you in. But in the meantime, I'll continue talking to Mimi. Someone is asking about the levels of qualification for TEFL. What are the levels? Can you talk to us about that? And are you allowed to teach irrespective of what level it is you are on?
Anyone can do this course. It's open to anyone. You don't have to have any qualification to do it.
No, I mean the TFL Universal, the platform where you learn to get the TFL certificate.
Oh yeah, yes. So you don't have to have any qualification or any background. Yeah. You just
Once you are on TFL, okay. Yeah. When you're on TFL, apparently there are different levels of qualification to be a TFL tutor. So there's the first level. I don't know how many levels because someone is asking. So, and I don't know how many levels you did. Is there a prescribed level that you need in order to teach? Or, the prescribed level of TFL qualification? Do you see what I mean?
Okay, so they work with hours. There's 120 hours, and I think there's actually that's some 60 hours, and then there's 120 hours. There's 168 hours, and there is 240 hours. So
someone here on WhatsApp on YouTube says there's level 3 up to 5 of TFL qualification. Yeah, and so those levels are according to the number of hours that you have spent studying.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
That is right.
Okay, but it doesn't matter, whatever level, as long as you're 120 hours, Royston says as long as you're 120 hours, you can teach.
That is right. But also, for those that may want to do contact teaching or even online, some of these institutions, they require specific, like, for example, if you are level 3, usually most of them want level 5, which is 160.
Or the 160?
168, that's level 5.
Okay. So by the way, Mimi's talking about contact. There are people who are doing this on a full-time basis, face-to-face, in foreign countries, in Japan, in China, elsewhere in Europe, elsewhere in Asia. So actually, you don't have to stay unemployed. That's the point we are talking about this. We don't have to be unemployed. You can do this online, or you can do it face-to-face in a foreign country. There are companies that hire people to teach English as a foreign language elsewhere, and they would require probably higher number of hours, as Mimi's saying. Now, tell us about the days, Mimi. I mean, you are a student. Of course, that's your priority. You want to complete your studies. And then you are a tutor. So when do you teach? When do you do this? And I'm saying this because there are people who are teachers, nurses, people who are, I see Mr. Titimba has joined us, he's a realtor, people who are agents and have flexi time, and so they can spare some time to do this. How do you organize your day in such a way that you can make money out of this activity?
Okay, so I mean, since I'm doing other things, I've told myself that I'm not going to disturb my days. So I do my stuff, my other projects during the day as normal. And then this I start at 9. So what happens with Preply, where I am on, you can curate the time where you want to be available. So no one can book you outside those hours that you have said you're available. So like I'm usually free around 9 p.m. until 12 or 1, depending on how tired I am. So that's where I actually do my lessons with people from around the world.
Okay, so you decide your availability, you craft, you have to organize your day. And I saw someone saying they also teach across the night. So whilst other people are just watching TV from 9 o'clock until midnight or later, you are teaching. Each one takes 45 minutes. And so even if you put 4 in a day, you've got like $20 in a day.
Yeah, that's right. And the good thing about this English teaching online is, or just English in general, teaching English in general, what happens is that there's no way a student is going to book like 3 lessons because they want to know. They probably don't know they're from Hungary, they're from Italy, they don't speak English as often. So they probably book 20 lessons. Like it comes in batches. So like they will probably subscribe for 10, 20 lessons, and then every day you may be meeting them like until that period is over.
Okay. I see Royston is talking a lot, so I have invited Royston to join us as well, so that he can talk, because Royston is either being a nuisance or sometimes he's being helpful. So it's better to get him on board, right? So Royston is here. Now, hello, Royston. You are Makanda. You are the guy who was on Twitter.
No.
Or you are a new guy. Okay. I thought we should get you in. No, Royston. We are getting you in because I can see you are making comments. Some of them are very helpful, but some of them are very cheeky. Now, I'm going to ask you, this is a space that is respected. Wait. This is a space of respect, of learning, of sharing. If you are doing anything untoward, I'll have to bring you down. But I brought you here because I can see you are knowledgeable. You are also in this business, and people can learn from you. That's why you are here. So tell us how many hours do you do per day? Because everything that you've written, Mimi was telling us already. So I thought, let's get your experience. We can get both of you talking about this. Tell us, how many hours do you do per day, Royston?
Okay, so first of all, hello everyone. Hello, Professor. It's nice to speak to you. Hi, Mimi.
Hi,
I
Ross.
wasn't being picky at all. So, what happens with me? So, just to give you my input,
Yes.
I am a freelancer. I work in different industries. I do online teaching. I also work in sales and I do events, right?
Great.
So, I've become sort of a night owl. I used to be a
Aha.
morning person, but now I'm a night owl. So I usually work from 10 p.m.
Yeah.
until 2 a.m. SA time.
Yeah.
So I teach like Japanese, Chinese, Taiwanese people. So during those hours, that's when they wake up. They quickly, while they're having their breakfast, preparing to go to work, to school, they take lessons during those times, right? Then I sleep during the day, I sleep, I carry on with my other stuff, then I come back later the following day from 12 midday until 5 o'clock. Then it's now the evening peak hours. After they've been to school, when they go home and they have dinner, then I do my teaching in the afternoon in South Africa. So that's how I do it.
So you are basically filling up your entire day, just like Mimi's filling it up with studies and tutoring, and then this, you are fitting this business with your other businesses, right? And yeah, but let's make people aware. I mean, when you advertise, when you put your stuff on the platform, it's not like you are choosing I want Japanese or Asian, whatever. You just put your time, but then you are being, what you are teaching us, what Royston is teaching us is that he is thinking about who's awake, so you make that time available for you on your schedule. Yes, then you know at this time Asia is awake, so that's the time when you're available and people then join, and then you know they are coming back from work, then you make that time available. But of course, if you want to attract students from Eastern Europe, for example, because English is not their first language, or anywhere else in Europe, you will also look at their time zone, and then you will say, okay, this is the time when before they go to work, they might take an hour, and then this is the time when they knock off you. So you've got to be smart. It means when you decide on your availability. That's what you're teaching us, Royston. Thank you very much. So that's very useful. And Royston, which price did you start with? Mimi said she started at $5.
Okay. So in my case, I'm not on, okay, the way I've heard it, it's called Preply. I'm not teaching on Preply, by the way. Right?
Okay.
So I'm teaching on other platforms. So sometimes they give you a set price already. Mm-hmm. And then I am currently in the process of working for another platform. So they have different prices. So it depends on what platform you teach. Some have a set price and some allow you to set your prices.
That's fantastic.
So
that's an important one. We didn't know that. So depending on the platform that you choose, you either set the time, the money, or they set it. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then also, I'm not sure how it works, Mimi, on Preply. I've heard about Preply. Do they have, sometimes you have two types of lessons. You have what's called an on-demand or a sudden lesson where the student just immediately comes in.
Aha.
Right? And then you have a booked class where the student schedules a lesson with you. That one is higher. So it depends on how it works. I'm not sure how does it work?
Mimi, how does it work on Preply?
So in my case, all the students that I've heard, they are students who schedule. I've never heard students who just come in. So all the lessons students, I know already probably 2 days in advance that I'm going to have a lesson with the student. So I've never heard,
Okay, so what Royston, what you are telling us therefore is that if it's a scheduled lesson like Mimi always has, this amount is set.
Yes, set.
And then
she said her amount, how much she wants, yes.
And then if it's an impromptu lesson, what happens?
So if it's a sudden lesson, it's just pretty much because I said I have 3 sources of income. I'm very busy. Sometimes I don't know. Then I just casually wake up and then sit in front of my laptop while I'm listening to music. Then you get a request. Or a ball. You get a and you get a student that immediately wants to have a conversation like that.
And then how do you charge? How do you charge in that way? How do? Yeah.
That's now the platform that will charge for you.
Okay. Okay. Royston, given how much you seem to be doing, you are even changing platforms. Okay, so you haven't just used one platform; you are now moving to another platform. How much money? How much money have you made, Royston?
So
The highest in 1 month.
The highest, okay, the one that I'm working for, Mimi, you know Native Camp, right?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yes. They don't have the best prices, but the most that I've made within 2 weeks. So they pay every 2 weeks. So I've made 5,000 rand.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, yes.
Yeah, but that's because you are doing many other things. I mean, the guy that I saw on, yeah.
Alone, 2 weeks alone on that alone.
So 2 weeks, just when you say 5,000, are you saying 5,000 US dollars or are you saying 5,000 rands?
No, 5,000 rands within 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks, okay. So
that's about how much? $300 US dollars.
Yeah. So Royston, that's important because you are doing it casually. So we might have people who say, I want to do it the whole day, because the young man I spoke to on Twitter, Makanda, who I was hoping that will be joining us here, he says he has made 80,000 rands. Okay, so I can't 80,000 rands. He hasn't joined us yet, but he said he has made 80,000 rands, and I was hoping that he will be here to explain how he has managed to do that. But the issue is that you can do that based on the amount of time you spend. Okay, so yeah, so
it's all about how much.
Yes. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. This is independence, Mimi and Royston. I mean, this is like you're an entrepreneur. You decide how much can I handle? Now, Royston is saying for him in the morning, whilst he's having tea or whatever, he just goes online for people who just want an immediate lesson. If it goes ting ting whilst he's having breakfast, he gets on the lesson. It's 45 minutes, it's done. You can imagine, I mean, $5 in the bag. And then you get on. Under ordinary circumstances, you wouldn't be making that $5 in the 45 minutes you are eating breakfast. But now you can. Okay? And that's very important, Royston, because it shows us, you are available, this is what you can do. Other points of wisdom, Royston, that you want to give in this regard? I mean, yeah?
Very, very important, because they know about our electricity crisis. Just have backup power. Very, very important.
Yeah.
Very, very crucial. Have backup power. And then you must have your headsets, right, with your protruding microphone. They don't want earphones. They don't want Bluetooth. It must be wired, because the wired had stronger connection. And then in some cases, you might find they have strict check requirements. They're going to require you to have like your laptop. You get your i3 and i5s and i7. So just check there. But the most important for you, have a backup power system, even if it's just for your Wi-Fi, for that 1-2 hours, so that you can quickly finish a lesson, because they know that in South Africa we have an electricity crisis.
Yeah, and that is very important, because you don't want to miss one of the appointments with the person who set up with you because you say there was no power or my internet this or that. If you do that, you are going to lose students, because then they will write a review that you don't show up. So Royston's point.
The platform sometimes picks it up that this person is. It picks it up as well.
Okay, but it's better to be organized so that your reviews can be good, because as Mimi told us, the better the reviews, the more students you have. Okay, and the more students you have, the more money you make. That's just standard. So have your backup power set up, get headset with a wire, not wireless. and make sure that your Wi-Fi is always on point, because this is about your money. This is you being the CEO of your small little business. Okay? Other sets of advice. Someone is asking, Mimi Royston, someone is saying, can you give us the different platforms? Share those platforms if you don't mind. Someone is asking. I mean, I know Royston said I was saying pre-ply, so now he says Preply. Preply is PRPLY. And then Royston, you mentioned another platform. You can tell people that.
The really great teacher company. I wrote it now on the YouTube.
Okay.
It's called the Really Great Teacher Company.
So the other one is called the Really Great Teacher Company. Yeah, there. But Cynthia, so if you look down, you'll see that Royston Kemp has written the name of the company. It's written the Really Great Teacher Company. Okay, if you are on YouTube. Okay, so Cynthia, just go there, you'll see it. Yeah, Royston?
Then so the Really Great Teacher Company is like I think they do recruit, but they also help other schools in China. They send out your CV. So That's what they can do, right? I can also recommend Native Camp for those people who are not too busy, who are flexible, who have other things to do. If you want to just do a quick lesson. And then there's another one called EF South Africa.
EF South Africa. So that's a South African company.
EF, so they have an office in South Africa. So they are I recommend them a lot. So if you have a problem, you can contact them. They have an office in Bryanston and I think in Cape Town. EF South Africa.
Great. Great. So, and have you had experience with them? Mimi has got experience with Preply. You have experience with all of these companies.
I'm in the other one. I'm about to apply to the really great teacher company, but the other two, I know them very well.
Okay. And you guys, if you want to join this, you check the company. Some of them allow you to set your own price. Some set the price themselves. Remember that at the end of the day is the reviews, how good you are. That's going to make people keep coming. And then, of course, some allow students to just come online and you can teach them. Some work with schedule. Okay, so you should feel, I mean, as you can hear, Royston is moving from one to the other because he's a full-time entrepreneur, right? So Mimi is a full-time student and a part-time entrepreneur. So he's doing this. Mimi, someone asked for your handle because they said they want to get in contact with you. It's MYSTEKNE, KANE, right? So if you want to reach out to Mimi, you want to register for the EFL qualification course, tutor qualification. Her handle on Instagram is @Mistekane, MYSTEKANE. You can reach out to her there and she can tell you how she works. I don't know how she works. Royston is here and we are busy taking your questions if you have any questions. Now, someone said people have to be okay, someone is asking a good question. Do you come up with your own learning materials or do these platforms give you learning materials? Who decides? How do you decide on the pedagogy, how you teach? How do you do that?
Okay. Oh, my input just quickly. So remember I mentioned the two types of lessons.
Yeah.
Sudden lesson or the booked lesson, right? So in some cases, with the one that's a sudden lesson, the platform provides the material. So you just pretty much read and help the student. And then I think with Mimi Preply, you have to make your own material. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's right.
Okay, so on Preply, you make your own material. Mimi, does it matter whether this student is the first day, second day, or day number 25? You do your lessons anyway.
So like in the first lesson, you have to also assess the student and see where they are in terms of their proficiency in eloquence. And then after that, you prepare lessons going forward based on how they are, how they perform.
Aha. So you are basically the teacher. You judge them and you decide what the next lesson is going to be.
That's right.
That's pre-play. And for the others, you said they give you for the sudden arrivals. If it's not a sudden arrivals, what happens, Royston?
They also still provide it.
They still provide it.
Sudden. I know and Native Camp and the Really Great Teacher Company, they provide material for you. And then just be mindful, unfortunately, some platforms, because they provide material for you, you might find that the pay is slightly lower. It's not as high as $5. It might be $1, $2, $3, or depending on where you are as a teacher. So it depends there.
Oh, so when they do the material for you?
If they do the material for you, then the pay might be lower than
might be lower. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So you will check all that for yourself, because it also depends on the type of person you are, how much time you have. As you can hear, Mimi is a student and is a tutor. So for her, it works that she's preparing her own material. And also preparing your own material also depends on how far you can judge where the student is, and then you then prepare according to where they are. The others prepare for you, and as Royston says, the amount may be lower. So just check, and remember, you are not locked into these platforms. You can always move from one to the other if you are not satisfied. But that might be problematic because you are not building a profile in that platform. I mean, the issue is you want to build a profile and so that the students who are on that platform, all your reviews can be seen, and therefore students can register with you. Is that right, Royston?
Yes. Also, remember, I'm not sure about Preply. Some platforms, because we are in different seasons. So Asians are now in summer and we are in winter. So sometimes you have off-season, on-season. Mm-hmm. It's not so busy. Sometimes it's busy. They have their public holidays. They have their cultural holidays. So it will depend on how your flow goes. So that's why I get what you're saying, Deputy Mother, that it's better to stick with one, but sometimes you might find, it's not so busy here. Yeah. Let me check the other one. It's not so busy there. Let me check. So because you need money, you need it to flow in.
Yeah. The idea, of course, you are right. You are also led by your needs. Someone is asking again, which platform Royston? Royston shared a few platforms with us. EF South Africa, Native Camp, and the Really Great Teacher. He's used all of them. He's about to join the Really Great Teacher, ne?
Yes.
Yeah. So Royston, if you scroll up on YouTube, on the comments, you'll see the platforms that Royston spoke about. Royston has used several, and he's moving around. Mimi has stayed faithful to Preply. And as I said, I saw a few other people who are using Preply. And Preply, that's where you do the lessons yourself, and so on. Other points of wisdom.
Yeah.
Royston?
Also, I think Preply, you said 45 minutes, right, Mimi?
Yes.
That's correct.
So usually, what I know, most platforms, it's usually 20 to 26 minutes. Maybe that's why the pay is also there.
All right.
Remember, sometimes 45 minutes, usually it's up to 26 minutes, like 30 minutes, quick. That's why it's slightly less.
Yeah.
So some of them have 45 minutes.
So that's why every person who wants to get into this must actually check the platform and see what is it that's allowed, that offers.
What is the day one?
Absolutely. Okay. It's 5 to.
Last point of wisdom.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sorry. So, what does Preply want? Do they want 5G? Do they want fiber? What type of internet? Because also the internet is important.
Yeah.
Not a requirement. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So as long as you have internet connection, Preply is happy as long as you have internet connection.
Yes.
That's correct.
Some of them will will require a specific speed. They will say not less than 10 megabits per second,
Okay.
not less than 20, like that. It will depend. So also check there. Some are very strict. They want pure fiber. Some don't want rain, unfortunately. Some don't want 5G. They don't want LTE. They want you to have fiber. Some
Okay.
don't really mind.
Someone is asking, I don't know, this sounds like an uninformed question. I wouldn't ask this because I thought it's the same. But the person is asking, do you choose a specific grade to teach, to pitch your lessons? Mimi, especially you, because you construct your own lessons. Or the person says, or do you mix different grades, like of English?
No, you just mix. I mean, again, depending on how the introductory lesson went, then you can just when the person says grade, does it mean the advanced or beginner or?
You know, that's why I say Tsibiso is asking a question of someone who doesn't know, because what we haven't told the people is that you are teaching English to people for whom English is a foreign language. It's like me trying to learn French and you're starting me from zero, and then so there is no grade 1, grade 5, or grade 12. It's that you are teaching someone to be able to communicate, right? Do you teach them to write as well, or is that a different need? Do they have to indicate that they want to be able to write English?
Well, in my case, one of my students, we ended up doing like composition, comprehension, because so you have to really understand the people that you're dealing with because they come with different needs. And as a teacher, you must know how to help them.
Okay. So basically, guys, when you teach English as a foreign language, you are teaching people who do not know the language, and therefore it's very basic, and then you go up with them, and some of them might contract you for longer because they want to be able to write, and then it will also depend on what kind of writing do they want. Okay, so it's not about grades like you do when you go to school here in South Africa. Okay, so that it's only English. This is about teaching English as a foreign language. And remember, what we are doing, we are leveraging something that we already have. Okay, so because we are a native English speaking region, it's easier to get the TFL certificates as a tutor and then get on with the work because we want to make money. Remember, we don't want to keep going on Twitter asking strangers for money. You want to make your own money and so that you can have your own dignity intact. Okay, let me just check if there are no more questions. I want you to make your closing remarks, Royston, and then, but I'm so grateful, Royston, that you agreed to come on board. Thank you so much. So what can you say as a closing remark? You've made money, you are managing to live with this. Do you advise it? And last word of advice.
Yes. So, in my honest opinion, I started teaching in 2022.
Yeah.
It's becoming very saturated now with South Africans. It's now becoming difficult more. But that's now where you push and you put yourself in and you put hours in. So, for example, it's now 6 p.m. in South Africa. I'm going to sleep now. Later on tonight, because it's Monday, then I'm going to work. Then it's going to be busy. Okay. So you have to, unfortunately, compromise in some aspects of your life. Yeah. So, as I said, usually when everyone is sleeping, then I'm awake until 2 a.m. I've changed my schedule. I've changed my life. So I would say, I would advise those of you who really want to do it, especially those who are going to teach the East Asians. So put a lot of time and effort into it. And once again, I highlight, get a backup power, check your internet, a wired headset, because they don't accept your earphones and your Bluetooth, and then a good computer, then you're good to go. You don't have anything to lose.
Great.
All the best.
Your handle, Royston, as you go out, what's your Instagram handle?
So it's Royston_wild1.
Royston is wild.
Wild one.
One as in a number one, right?
Yes, Wild, I put it there. Royston _wild1.
Okay, Royston_wild1. That's Royston's handle. Thank you very much, Royston. See you again on Instagram. Okay, thank you for agreeing.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Mimi. All the best.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye, Royston.
Mimi, your closing remarks, last advice before you check out as well.
Okay, so as I was going through some of the comments, I didn't get to read all of them. I saw someone he put a crying emoji when he mentioned about $5. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
At first, in as much as you are doing this for money, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Like on the first go, build a base, build a foundation. Have people come to you, and then with time, your work will prove for itself. You don't have to, because I mean, if you start with $30, no one is gonna book you.
Yeah.
So you have to be patient. You have to be willing to invest first before you look at the money. Of course, you're doing it for money, but be patient.
And what you are saying, Mimi, is that the money will increase if you get better. I mean, you're starting, $5 is a start. But here's the thing, you are there, broke. $5 is about 100 rand. I mean, who's going to give you 100 rand for every hour that you spend? Just imagine, someone is giving you 100 rand for every hour. As a start, this is just a start. Meantime, when you are busy asking for 150 rand from a stranger on Instagram, what we are saying is don't do that. Start at 100 rand, build your reputation. As you heard, Royston says it's competitive now. More and more people are coming in. So which means now people will stick with you if you are good, if you show up, if you deliver, people will be there. And then when people start flocking, you raise your fee, okay? You can raise your fee, but you can't start with a high fee. Nobody knows you. So start by making your name, and then you build it up, okay? And be careful out there. There are scams, so be careful. Don't fall for them. One day we'll talk about the scams that are online so that you wake up. So don't be stupid, chase money, because the scammers will get you if you are just chasing money. They know you are naive, you don't know what you are doing, you are just there for a quick buck, and they will hit on you. So stay with the reputable platform. You got the names of reputable platforms, and then build your reputation. You'll be surprised. As I said, there's someone who said they're making 80K. They've made 80K per month on this. So you can make more if you have more time to spend. So thank you very much to Royston and Mimi for joining me. For everyone who asked questions, students from University of Limpopo, Stellenbosch, UFS, and everywhere else in the country. I also saw a lot of Limpopoans, including Tebogo Mabusela. I really appreciate you joining me. Don't worry, the session is on YouTube. You can join it on my YouTube, and remember to subscribe. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel. Subscribe, click notifications so that when a new episode drops, you get it. And you'll see that the YouTube channel is organized in a way that's going to be helpful for you. So everyone watching us from India, Uganda, Dublin, and everywhere else in the country, thank you very much. We'll see you again next week as we continue to talk about making money in unconventional ways. We'll be here again teaching you. Come and join us. We want to make sure that none of us suffers, none of us waits for a grant, none of us sleeps hungry. That's what we are trying to do. Okay, so see you again next week at 5 o'clock. Yours truly, Deputy Mother, Fab Academic, the professor of the people. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.